What's happening, everybody? Ramsey and Black with you here at Play Dead in downtown Toronto. Mark making things happen, talking about a cool fight for the ladies. We all love the ladies. Rose Namajunas, the karate hottie, Michelle Waterson. You were just at her camp, down at Greg Jackson's. We've seen Rose. She's ferocious. She's skillful. We knew her as a jiu-jitsu girl. She's improved so much that we forget how good she is at jiu-jitsu because her hands are there. But Michelle Waterson has been around the game. She's crafty. People think that she's this karate girl. We saw how fast she can take your back.
Yeah.
What is Michelle Waterson's philosophy when she's approaching this fight with the surging Rose?
Yeah. When you go pure skill for skill and, you know, just the technical abilities, Rose Namajunas is maybe as talented as anybody in the women's divisions, maybe, you know, championship level material. And you see it in the way that she moves and the way that she's able to do things. The karate hottie, Michelle Waterson. I'm sorry, Mike. I mean, that's low-hanging fruit. But hey, Michelle Waterson. What she's going to feel she has the advantage in is performance. Her ability to go in and perform under pressure and perform well all the time. Rose, for all of her physical and technical and talent and skill strengths, her question mark has been her game day performance. And Waterson, game day performer. So she wants to make it about that. And you try to undermine Rose's confidence, try to play with her a little bit, try to be surprising, try to make it not really have a great first round is key for Waterson. Because Rose is so skilled, man. If it's about skill, she's going to beat almost anybody.
Rose can hurt you. Mm-hmm. And that can change a fighter's philosophy. You're going to try to get into somebody's head. You're going to try to throw her off her game, but you get cracked in the face. You have to rethink your strategy because Rose is going to continue to move forward, bashing you until you hit the ground, and then she's going to choke you out.
If she's in that Terminator mode, that none of this matters, I have to go in and do my thing, and as we talk about that a lot, some fighters really want to know the opponent, some fighters only want to know themselves, some coaches develop a game plan specific for someone. When you're as skilled as Rose Namajunas is, if you're just on and nothing is going to undermine you or nothing is going to affect your ability to go in and do the thing tonight, you're going to win almost all your fights. So Michelle just wants to make that not the case. Frustrate her, surprise her, confuse her if at all possible. That's another advantage that Michelle Waterson can have, is she's not predictable. Rose is not predictable either, but Michelle fights differently than most of the training partners, and she shows different looks. She has to do that. You can't let this girl, you cannot let Rose go into Terminator mode and just track you down and slowly beat you up, because she will.
But if you're Michelle Waterson and you're doing all these off-rhythm timing things and you're throwing kicks and you're just constantly putting off-pattern things, isn't Rose just going to try to smash through that anyways?
Yeah. And
so how important is it for Waterson to commit to these, say, I have to hurt her as she's moving forward, and that she buys into the fact that this isn't just for show?
And she has to outskill her in some moments. She has to find some places to outskill her. Now, where might that be? You know, kicking distance, you know, playing with the feet, movement, where you're standing, drawing her into things, side kicks and hook kicks. But if I'm Rose and her team, that's something we're preparing pretty heavily for. You know, we saw her come out and take just an almost pure side-on karate stance for moments against Paige, which was very smart, because Paige Van Zandt is still seasoning up. Yeah. She's still putting the whole thing together, and by being something unpredictable, that you get a bigger payoff against Paige Van Zandt than you do against Rose Namajunas, who has seen a lot more. It's a tough fight. If Rose is on her game, she beats most of these girls. She really does. When you look just pure skill, man, there aren't many fighters that I've watched just when free to train with their coach out in the open where you can see this level of skill. Because
mind, body, and soul completely connected and able to execute.
Yeah, and I mean, if she's able to do that on the night, Joanna Jędrzejczyk is in for a fight. But Joanna will break you mentally. And physically, and that will be a challenge for Rose if and when she gets there. She's going to have to draw more out of herself. And this one will be a challenge too, because because Michelle Waterson belongs at this level. She knows she does, and she wants to make Rose question that, and she's capable of making her ask herself those questions.
So you think when the referee says, okay, let's fight, Waterson, is she going first? Is she allowing Rose to come in for her to counter and parry and move and circle and let her, you know, cover a lot of ground to slowly figure things out?
I think I like it with the limited information we have, not knowing what we haven't seen. I like the idea of we don't need to engage Rose right away. We don't need her to run the risk of her having some great moments and building on that. Let's frustrate her a little bit. Let's move around. Let's drag a few boos out of these people a little bit. I think I would personally like that if I was working with Michelle Waterson. If you go in and you engage with Rose off the top and you are lucky enough or successful enough to hurt her, great. But if she's successful enough to hurt you, she could soar right away. People who, you know, you feel, and they change quickly. Rose may be an iron up here by now.
Kick to the body, that can change.
It can change, but when there is the possibility that you see people are affected by momentum beyond their control, and we've seen at times that Rose can be like that, you don't want to, it'd be great if we get her questioning herself early, but we don't want to run the risk of her just soaring confidence early. At a higher level, or if she's already achieved this, or when she achieves it, Rose won't be affected plus or minus by those things at all, and maybe she isn't now, but you have to go in there and at least not give her that.
A super cool fight going down at 115 pounds, all the action going down on Big Fox.